According to Bellocs article 2015, March 17, titled Child's Life Expectancy Being Shorter Because of Obesity, she talks about how for the first time in over 200 years, this generation of children has a shorter life expectancy than their parents. This is due to the rise of childhood obesity. While obesity is not a new issue, it's something we tend to ignore. We tend to choose the convenient food rather than the healthy food. And that unfortunately trickles down to our children as well. In order to solve this issue, we need to understand the causes and effects obesity has on childhood, obviously from the health issues to psychological issues and even the socioeconomic issues as well. Understanding these core issues will help us create solutions to help provide our children a healthier and more brighter future. The first cause of childhood obesity would be overeating. Overeating simply is taking in more calories than your body needs, and those excess calories being stored as fats as a result. For every pound of fat would take 1 hour of running to burn. That is something we can't just simply have our kids do. It's just unhealthy to think. Much rather help them prevent than to overeat. We have to teach them how to not overeat. As a result of overeating, this can also lead to reduced physical movement. Once you start overeating, you start gaining weight, you start moving less, you start exercising less, you start playing less. The last cause of obesity would be social economic issues. This is just the issues that the parents or even child doesn't have control over. This is just not having healthy alternatives or even grocery stores around you to choose from. As a result, this typically affects low-income housing where options aren't there. So they choose foods that are able to store for long periods of times, such as very processed foods, such as like freezer food, microwavable food, snacks, chips, things that won't go to waste very quickly. The long-term effects being obese has on a child. First, being hypertension. This would be to the increased sodium intake. It causes your blood pressure to rise. As this increases your risk of cardiovascular disease. Another effect would be being diabetic. Due to being overweight, your insulin levels will be unstable and cause you to have type 2 diabetes. And lastly, the thing we're always scared and always don't acknowledge, being obese, yes, short term are just aches, pains, just being overweight, not being fit, that's one thing. But when this carries on for long periods of time, this can cause heart failure. Causing too much stress on the heart long term will cause it to fail and as a result die. Nobody wants that for our children. Well, what is a healthy diet? We all know what it is for the most part. You need half a quantity. So you have a plate. Half of it would have to be veggies. You need your fibers, your vitamins, your minerals. Those are very important. The other quarter percentage we would want to have like lean meat. That'd be fish, low percentage fat, beef, and chicken. We all know chicken. Any kind of healthy carbs, such as beans, some vegetables, and asparagus is very good. I love it, very nice. How to exercise? How do you incorporate exercise in your childhood's routine? We don't want to force children to run. Obviously, running laps around a field isn't the most fun thing to do. You have to encourage them. You need to play with them. You need to do things to make this exercise into games to look forward to. This way, if they ever do overeat or they ever want to treat themselves, they have a way to lose those calories so they're not stored as excess calories and cause them to gain weight. And lastly is just talking to your child, understanding how they're feeling. Just because someone's overeating doesn't mean they don't have a problem. Sometimes we tend to lean food for comfort, and instead of just ignoring that, we need to acknowledge there's a bigger issue there that these kids don't understand, or even adults don't understand how to control their emotions. So they lean towards food for comfort. Just talking to all children is a massive help to them, long term and short term, physically healthy and also mentally healthy, when they have better sources to release their emotions into rather than just food or something that's not healthy long term. A child doesn't deserve to be riddled with disease, especially when it can be prevented. There's some diseases unfortunately just can't be solved. We just wanted to solve them, whether it be cancer or whether it be genetics. Obesity is something we can solve. Just understanding what it means to be obese, how it can cause to be obese, and planning long term on how we want our children to be healthy. This will not only lead to happier children, but healthier children. And this, like Ms. Belloc said earlier in her article, we don't want to outlive our children. No parent wants that. Thank you.